Your mind is creating patterns that shape your entire life. But in reality, it's not you versus your life, it's you versus your perception of your life. It's you versus you. It's been a minute since I have sat in front of this camera. I have some updates, so that's exciting. But today, I haven't posted a lot lately, so this feels good to sit and chat. Life's crazy, that's fine. Crazy just means forward movement, and that's what we want, right? But hi, welcome if you're new here. I'm Kenzie. I am a trauma-informed life coach. I am a domestic violence advocate. I am a manifestation coach. I do all of the things over here. We manifest, we heal through relationships, I teach trauma. If any of that's your jam, stick around. I would love to have you along on the journey. Other than that, today I just want to sit and chat. My life is so chaotic right now. I'm moving. I have someone very near and dear in my heart that's been in the hospital 40 minutes away that I've been going every day seeing him. I have, my course just dropped. I just made a workbook also that's going on Amazon. I just have all kinds of craziness. Back to school with my kids. Life is just everywhere right now. So sitting down and filming just feels so good. So let's just sit and chat. Let's just talk. I need to just chill out for a minute. Something big that I've been learning with this house experience. For those of you who are new here, I just bought a house. That was a whole ordeal. There's videos back on my channel about that. I manifested this house. Truly, I did. But when you're buying a house, especially your first house, when you've never bought a house before, there is always things that come up that you're just not ready for. And it's so easy to get down on yourself, especially when you're in your healing era. It can be hard to sit and let yourself get that way and let yourself feel those emotions. So it's really important to know how you personally process things like overwhelm and sadness and disappointment and things like that. It's so important to know how you can process those emotions in a healthy way. One of the biggest things I've learned through buying this house, people think it's everything against them, the world against them, the government against them, money against them, bills against them, everything's against them. But in reality, it's you versus you at the end of the day in every situation. Even if it's other people, how you respond is what you're dealing with. You can choose how to respond to every situation. Even if it's bills, I had bills coming at me left and right that I didn't know how I was gonna handle it. They ended up upping what I had to come up with as a down payment from 3% to 5%, which is a big jump that I had to come up with in 2 weeks. All of these other things were happening, but every single challenge boils down to you versus you. Your mind shapes your reality. It's been proven in quantum physics, and I'm not going to get all sciencey on you, I promise, but I do want to touch on that because I do think that it's so important in this situation. And not just buying a house. I truly do mean every situation. When I think back to it, I think of all of my issues I've had with ex-partners, with my bosses, with bills being late and me not being able to afford things, with my car accidents. I literally unconsciously willed car accidents into existence, or willed car problems into existence, or my rent going up, or things like this happening. It's all a product of your mind. Your energy, your vibration, what you're putting out is what's coming back to you in life. And that phrase is not just to send good vibes and get good vibes back. That is quantum physics, literally, in the most genuine sense. Believe is what you're reinforcing. Your mind is creating patterns that shape your entire life. But in reality, it's not you versus your life, it's you versus your perception of your life. It's you versus you. So let's talk about quantum physics. I think, and I promise you, I'm not going to get in over your head about it. I'm going to make it as easy as I can to understand. But I think it's so fascinating, and I love how it ties everything together. For me, when I started looking into quantum physics, it brought manifestation together for me. It brought, holy shit, I really am creating my reality. I am the reason things are going wrong, and I'm the reason things can go right. So I really want to touch on that for a second because I think it's so important. But basically, scientists discovered that reality isn't as fixed and solid as we all thought it was. There's this thing called the double slit experiment, and what happens is when particles know that they're being watched, they behave differently. So the act of observing literally changes everything. So think about that. Your awareness, your attention, you observing something literally changes the outcome. That means that your mind isn't just sitting here watching your life play out in front of you and watching these situations happen to you and watching what's coming to you. Your mind is an active participant in the things happening, coming in and going in your life. Your mind is literally shaping it. And that's why I say it's you versus you, is because if your mind is shaping your reality, then the fight isn't with your boss. The fight isn't with your bills. The fight isn't with your ex-best friend. The fight isn't with any of that. It's not with the situation that you're in. It's with how you choose to interact with it, how you choose to see it, what you choose to believe about that situation. What's your next move? Reality bends what you project. And that shows how powerful you really are, because if you're always looking at life through the lens of, I can't ever get on my feet, everything bad always happens to me, I'm always poor. If you're always looking at life through that lens, that's all that you're going to see. And that's all that's going to come at you. You aren't capable of seeing what else could possibly happen, because you have those lenses on of, I'm only ever going to be poor. I'm only ever going to amount to this much. Take those lenses off and will into existence, I'm going to make it here. I'm going to achieve this. I'm going to do this. This outcome could happen in this situation. And this isn't just some woo-woo idea. This is science. You go fact check me. Go do your own research. Prove me wrong. This is not just some hippy-dippy on the internet trying to prove something to you. I mean, you have free will. Go believe what you want. But look it up. This is all science. This is real shit. But if you keep whatever mindset you have of what you believe about a situation or what you believe about yourself, reality is going to continue to prove you right, because your mind is always looking for proof of whatever it believes. So if your mind believes I'm not good enough, it's going to continue to search for proof that you're not good enough. And when it finds it, it's, aha, see, I'm right, I knew it. But if you say, okay, I can do this, this is easy shit, then it's going to find the proof of that. That's why two people can go through the same situation. Let's say two people both lose their job. One goes on a depressive episode, starts binge drinking, loses everything, loses their family, gets a divorce, starts gambling, loses all their money, goes just on a downward spiral, while the other loses their job and it's like, okay, this is my chance to start over and do what I really want to do in life. That's because two people have a different lens on how to view that situation. So the way that they view it brought them to different outcomes. So if quantum physics is showing us anything, it's that reality isn't fixed. It's responding to us. Reality responds to our actions, to our mindset, to our projections. The battle is never outside of you. It's in you. You are your own battle. It's you versus you. My own battles in life, it was always me versus me. I always thought I was some broke single mom who always had shitty cars, and guess what? Every car that I bought was a shitty car. I had shitty car after shitty car after shitty car. And then I had car accident after car accident after car accident. And then I had bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship, because I had lenses on that's all I would ever amount to. And then I finally took my lenses off and decided to take one bold, actionable step towards a new future. That was scary. I will not lie to you. It was a very scary step, but I did it. And now I'm living in my purpose. And I have all of these amazing things coming, which I can't wait to tell you about. None of that would have happened had I kept those goggles on of, I'm just going to never amount to anything else, because nobody that's like me ever gets anything. Nobody like me ever can amount to anything. I'm a poor single mom. I have to pay for all of this stuff because XYZ happened. You know, I have 4 kids to pay for by myself. I'm a single mom now and I have no money. What am I supposed to do? I'm never going to amount to anything. What kind of things would I attract if I kept those goggles on? The same types of situations. The same types that I kept attracting for years. I took the goggles off and I said, okay, I'm going to attract my calling. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do next to get closer and closer to my dreams. And I have done nothing but that since. Here's another one for you. A year ago, I thought about wanting to be a speaker one day and decided that I was not anywhere close to ready for that. Which is fair, given that, that was right after I almost lost my life, and that was understandable at that time, you know. Very soon. Probably could have did it, but was very soon. Fast forward to maybe a month ago, not even. That idea popped back up into my head, and I was like, maybe I'm ready to revisit that now. You know, I've done a lot of things. I've accomplished a lot since then. I published my course. I've been making YouTube videos. I've been doing all these other things that I wanted to accomplish, so maybe I'm ready to revisit that. So I kind of pocketed that in the back of my brain. The next day, the very next day, I checked my email, my old email, and I had an email sitting from someone asking me to speak at an event and tell my story. And that email was there for a month. So yeah, when I took those goggles off of I could never be a speaker, I'm not ready, I can't do that. Took those goggles off, I'm like, you know what, maybe I am ready, I can do this. Instantly, somebody reached out to me. I didn't even have to reach out to anybody, asking them to, give me a speaking gig. It came to me. It came to my inbox. because I took those goggles off. What was meant for me found me. And when it comes to, like bosses and stuff, I never had a backbone my whole life. I always had bosses who took advantage of my hard work because I'm a very, very, very hard worker and I didn't know how to say no my entire life. So I had bosses who've always taken advantage of that. And I also had no boundaries and no sense of external authority, like taking advantage of me ever. Then I went through my whole spiritual awakening and started getting, all of this self-worth and learning boundaries, and like, it's not cool how my bosses were treating me and I deserve so much better. So I took those goggles off of, I don't want to work for somebody else my entire life. I have self-respect now. Why am I doing so much extra work when, nobody else is and they're making the same, if not more than me? I stopped that shit. And this can go in any situation. Scarcity mindset will bring you nothing but more bills and less money. Take those goggles off. That is not bringing you anything. Broaden your mind to what else is out there. I am deserving of money. I'm going to make a lot of money in my life. Bills are coming in. Okay, I will get them paid. You don't have to get them paid right now. Don't let it overwhelm you. Most places take payment plans. There's been bills that I had that were thousands of dollars, and I would send them like $20 a month. And that was enough for me to be like, okay, I'm making a payment. It's fine. And guess what? It was fine. It was okay. All of those situations, it's about how you respond to the situation. Do you have a boss who makes you miserable? How are you responding? Is your blood pressure getting up and you snapping back at them and getting an attitude? Are you letting them bring your energy down like that? Don't respond like that. Fix your energy. Fix how you respond. When bills come in, do you tense up? Do you get that anxiety around money? If you get anxiety around money, money can't come into your life. That's a money block. Your enemy isn't out there. Your enemy is the parts inside of you that's resisting, that's blocked, that's refusing to grow, that's refusing to look at the wound and heal it, to break through it. What holds you back more than anything is self-sabotaging, limiting beliefs, Those are the things that are holding you back. It's not because you don't have money. It's not because you have a shitty boss who makes you work all the time, all these hours. It's not because you have bills stacking up and holding you back. Those are excuses. I've had all of those things. It's how you respond to it. It's your mindset. Are you coping with those things? Are you going out and having drinks after work to ease the stress? That's a terrible way to cope with that. Trust me, I've been there. I used to do that too. But that does not get you anywhere. That's not going to get you where you want to be. That's not the way to respond to these things. That brings your energy down. That brings your frequency down. And that causes more problems. When you're hungover, first of all, if we're taking the drinking example, when you're hungover, there's a lot of consequences that come from that. And I think we all know that. Even if you don't get hangovers, it just affects your energy altogether terribly. And you can't bring good things into your life when your energy is not good. But let alone, you can't be your best when you're not feeling your best. But also, your old self wants to keep you small. Growing is uncomfortable. Growing can be hard. Your old self wants to keep you where it feels safe, and safe isn't always safe. Safe is what's known to your nervous system. What your old self knows and is familiar with is what's safe to it, and your old self is going to want to keep you safe, even if that limits you. So breaking free from that, being okay with being uncomfortable, that is how you truly break free of the you versus you and grow into who you are meant to be. Successful, wealthy, healthy, having an abundant life. That's how you attain those things. One of the biggest things that helped me was working on, responding to situations versus reacting to situations. Being reactive is always going to bring you more trouble than it is good. And it's hard to even catch yourself unless you're intentional about it. So, really pay attention to how you are reacting or responding. And shifting your perspective, because a lot of the times what made it easier for me is like looking at why people were doing the things they were. Why was my boss being such an asshole to me? Where in his life was he going wrong? Just so I could get a better grip on, okay, it's not me. I'm not the problem. They're projecting. Not just your boss, in any situation. And I got all of these bills. It's easy to get overwhelmed. But then when you stop and you're like, this is just a big corporation sending everybody all of these bills. This is stupid. And then I would just kind of laugh it off and be like, all right, well, they clearly are fine. They can accept my $10, $20 payment a month and it's fine. They're not rushed to get your payment on it. Whatever it is, pay what you can afford. Don't overwhelm yourself. You'll be okay. And creating a new identity through intentional thought. Who are you? Who are you trying to become? Who do you want to be? Put all of these situations aside, your money aside, your shitty job aside, your friends who are assholes to you, put it all aside, and who do you truly want to be? Inside and out. Write it all down and figure out how to get there. How does that person speak to people? How does that person interact with people? What does that person put up with and not put up with? Make a list and take baby steps. Get 1% closer to becoming that person every day and work on consistently doing those things. When you shift your mindset to everything that you face in life is you versus you, and it's how you're reacting and perceiving these situations, and that you can take control back, once you know that you can take control of every situation, your whole life will shift. Be patient and be consistent and take action towards it. When you win those little battles inside, that's when you shift your whole outer world. If this resonated with you today, I would love to know down in the comments. Other than that, I will see you in the next one. Don't forget that my course is out now. I will put a link down below. Reclaim Your Power for recovering from toxic relationships or anything that took your power from you. It is so empowering to see the people who have been taking this course and to see how it's changed their lives. I would love to see how it changes yours. So let me know down below if you are interested in that. I can help you find that. I also have a workbook version of this hitting Amazon soon. If it's not already out, it's out. I'll put the link in the description. Otherwise, watch for that soon. Other than that, I will see you in the next one.